Hey, 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 listen, you know what day it is. What day is today? It's Tuesday. And what am I going to say? It's Tuesday tea with D.A. Tuesday tea with D.A. Tuesday tea with D.A. Tuesday tea with D. Tuesday tea with D. Oh, Tuesday tea with D. Oh, Tuesday tea with D. Tuesday tea with D. I changed it up a little bit today. So, hey, again, it's your girl, Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, and iSpeaklife mentor with another serving of tea on this Tuesday Tea with D, right? And so this week's Tuesday Tea with D is brought to you by my upcoming live event, the iSpeaklife Empowerment Experience for Women. And so, honey, it's going to be in Niagara Falls, New York, December 2nd through the 4th. You want to go to iSpeakLifeLive.com in order to get all the details. Early bird registration is now open, and I want to see your face in the place. We have 10 spots, well, actually 8 spots now available for VIP. So if you are looking to get the upgrade, honey, listen, make sure you go in and just go in and get your VIP and upgrade, because those 10 spots, I believe, are going to sell out really quickly. All right, so let's jump into today's conversation. Of course, I'm going to taste this tea because I know y'all want to know what I'm drinking. It's so good. My tea is always good. I know you're like, the tea is always good, D. And it is, because I make it and I know how I like to make my tea. But this is a pomegranate. And actually, I brought this so you could see it. And hopefully it doesn't drip. And so I have a, can y'all see in there? Look at that. You can see in there. So this is my little filter thingy where I have my loose tea. And I wanted to show you just so y'all can see. And normally when I make my tea, I put it in here. And then, I take it out and you can see I can kind of drain it a little bit. And there's a little cap that you can put on top so that you can, it doesn't get all messy and stuff. And so that's kind of how I make my loose tea. So this is not a pomegranate. This is elderberry. This is one of the loose teas that I got from Hilton Head when I was in my retreat in August. And child, you know what? Let me just say this really quickly before we get into today's tea. I'm really finding that loose tea, the taste is richer than like the bagged tea, right? I was drinking some elderberry, blackberry tea. I think it was from Tazo. I can't remember. And it's really, really good, but the flavor is not as rich. And I'm like, man, don't tell me I'm going to have to like totally switch all the way over to loose tea because, honey, it's good. You hear me? Mm, 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 mm. All right. So today's conversation is around this statement. There is no such thing as the perfect time. I know you're probably like, no, 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 it really is. No, it's not. There's no such thing as a perfect time. That really is procrastination talking to you. That really is fear talking to you. And that really is hesitation talking to you. Right. And so let's just break this down like really quickly, because sometimes we feel like, okay, like I'm waiting for the perfect time. Well, what is the perfect time? How do you even know what the perfect time is, right? There's things where we say like, wow, like this came right at the perfect time, or this happened right when it was supposed to happen, but it was hardly ever planned, right? I don't know about you, but most of the things that happened in my life that were perfect timing were not things that I planned. And so when we talk about planning, right, this whole perfect time thing, child, it don't exist. There is no such thing as a perfect time. And so when you're like, well, I'm waiting for the perfect time for this, or I'm waiting for the perfect time for this, my challenge to you is to use the time that you have right now. My challenge to you is literally to recognize that the perfect time is when? Now. Now is the time. Now is the time to take action. Now is the time to move. Now is the time to literally do the thing that you keep saying that you're waiting for the perfect time to do. Right now is not the right time. Now, I get it. Sometimes it's not the right time to take full action. But, like, for example, if you're saying you want to write a book, now is the time to start writing. Child, get the phone, get the computer, get the iPad, shoot, get the notebook and a pen and start jotting down what you feel it is that you need to be writing down. Like, it doesn't have to be the perfect time. Like, okay, well, I need to be like totally focused in order to, no, you don't. One of the things that I learned years ago was writers write every single day, and they don't write when they feel like it. They write because it's what they do. And as they write, they get in flow. Right. And so for me as a speaker, I try to speak every day. I try to do something every day that really channels what I am and who I am and what I do. And so if there are things that you're saying like, oh, well, I'm waiting for the perfect time to exercise, or I'm waiting for the perfect time to do this, or I'm waiting for the perfect time, that's an excuse. Can I just call you out real quick? It's an excuse. And so if it's an excuse, here's some questions that I want to ask you. Today is going to be, I don't always give homework on the Tuesday Teas with D, but when I do, I want you to get your journal and I want you to do it. Because here's the other thing. A lot of times we're looking for the perfect time for something. And when you act now, now is the perfect time. And it's not just for you to take the time and do the journal assignment and write it out, but then it's also going to be, I'm going to challenge you to take action. What's one thing that you can do over the next 30 days that can move you forward, that can move the needle in your goals and whatever it is that you say that you want to do, right? And so what are you doing with the time that you have while you're waiting, right? You say you're waiting for the perfect time, but what are you doing right now? What are you doing with the time? What are you doing with the time that you have right now, right? And so while you're waiting, are you working? Are you doing something? Because see, you waiting, but you're wasting time, right? And so let me say this again. While you're waiting, you're wasting time. The time that you say you're waiting for in the perfect time, what are you doing in the now time while you're waiting for the perfect time? I know, child, I got excited. Let me bring it down a little bit. So the other thing is let me ask you this question. What could you be missing out on while waiting on the perfect time? What opportunities are you missing out on? What connections are you missing out on? What people are you missing out on? Right? You waiting for the perfect time for all of these things. Like, what exactly is the perfect time? We don't even know. I just know that the time will feel right. Well, child, the time will feel right when the time is the time, but you can't plan that. We don't plan when the time feels right. We got to move and we got to take action. And the problem is we're not taking action. We're waiting. And then while you're waiting, you're wasting time. I'm calling you all the way out today. I know. But we literally have maybe, I think, like less than 12 weeks for the rest of the year. And then even as we transition into the new year, like sometimes some of y'all are saying, well, I'm going to wait until the new year. Well, what you doing the whole rest of the year? You got weeks to get something done, and you're not doing anything. You're wasting time, right? And so lastly, what action steps can you be doing right now? What action steps can you be doing? What are the things that you're saying that you're waiting for the right time to do? Like, for example, some people say, well, I'm waiting for the right time to, so that I can invest in this specific coach. Okay, well, are there YouTube? Like, people tell me that all the time, like, well, I can't afford you right now, but I really want to, I want to work with you. I'm waiting for the right time. Well, while you're waiting for the right time, hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up on Facebook. I've got over probably 200 plus videos that I promise you that if you listen to them, honey, they'll get you right. And in the meantime, while they're getting you right, put your coins aside, right? What are you doing now to get your money ready for the perfect time of the thing that you want to take advantage of? Because sometimes what we're saying is I'm waiting for the right time to do a thing. And when the opportunity comes, you still don't have the money. You're still not ready. You still don't have the mindset. You're still not talking the right language. So my challenge to you is stop saying that you're waiting for the perfect time, because you're not waiting for the perfect time. That's an excuse so that you can still waste the time that you say that you're waiting in. Listen, y'all know I don't play. Coming for you, right? So with that being said, that's the tea for today, right? I'm not going to listen. Listen, if you need more support, you know where to find me. Book a discovery call. I call them breakthrough sessions. It's a 30-minute breakthrough session where we can talk about what your next step could look like, or even where you are, where you want to be, and how I can support you. And if private coaching is the next best step, right? I would say even better is get in the room with me December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Niagara Falls, New York, so that you can literally be in space with me. You can ask the questions that you need to ask, and you can be with me for 3 days. Honey, listen, early bird is $367, and I'm giving you the option for a 3 monthly payments. I believe it's $135 right now. And so you can get in right now for $135. You don't even have to pay up the $356. And then if you want to upgrade to VIP, that's $567. And then I think the 3-month payments are $217, right? And so 2 of those spots are already gone for VIP, and I'm only accepting 10 people into that. But the point I'm making is stop thinking that you got to wait for the big thing while you can be doing smaller things, right? Being faithful over few so that you can be ruler over many, right? And so some of you want to be ruler over many, but you don't want to be faithful over few because you're waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time is now. The perfect time is today. The perfect time technically might have been yesterday, but you're wasting time waiting. And so I don't want you to continue to waste time waiting. I want you to do the work, and I want you to start today. Okay, so I've already told you about the iSpeaklife Live 2022, my empowerment experience for women, but I'm going to tell you again because I want you there. It is happening December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Niagara Falls, New York, right? And so no, we're not going to be in Canada. You won't need a passport or whatever, but it's literally right over the bridge. But if you're looking for a space, and let me just tell you, this year's theme is chosen but peculiar. right? Coming from 1 Peter 2:9, where God says you're a chosen people, royal priesthood, holy nation, all of those things, peculiar people. And so I know that you're chosen. But the one thing, and you might think that you're peculiar, but peculiar in a different way, right? You're specifically, there's a special space for you in God's heart as it relates to your peculiarity. And so if you're at a space where like where you are, you can't stay, you've been settling, you've been stuck, you've been stagnant, and really you just know you need to get you need different environment, you need different community, then you need to come, because I create spaces and I create communities where women are safe, where women are seen, where women are loved, where women are encouraged. And if that is something that you need, if that is something that you desire, then my challenge to you is stop waiting for the perfect time to find it and invest so that you can be there. Make the arrangement, switch some stuff up if you have to in order to be there, because guess what? The perfect time only comes when it finally shows up, but that's after you've taken action. When you're like, man, this showed up right when I need it. Why? Because you were prepared. Why? Because you were doing the work. Why? Because you were doing what you needed to do, right? So at the end of the day, this is the tea. And I hope that you enjoyed it, right? On Tuesday Tea with D. A Tuesday Tea with D. A Tuesday Tea with D. A Tuesday Tea with D. So I will see you next week for another edition of Tuesday Tea with D. Make sure you do these assignments, right? So the questions, I'm going to give them to you one more time. What are you doing with the time that you have now while you're waiting? What could you be missing out on while you're waiting on the perfect time? And then the last question is what steps could you be doing right now, right? For the next 30 days, like what's one thing that you could be doing? So make sure you do those homework assignments. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you share this. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, do all the things, right? And then make sure you join me next week for another message and another serving of tea on Tuesday Tea with D. I will see you next time. Later.